Your grandmother, with a determined spirit, boiled her dish rags every Monday morning. In a copper pot, water bubbles violently, infused with shavings of lye soap. For 20 minutes, the rags tumble in a furious dance of steam and heat. Doctors might have dismissed it as superstition, but this age-old ritual was a sterilization cycle, proven to obliterate more bacteria than any modern cleaner. In the small farming towns of rural Ohio, wash day was a sacred tradition, anchored on Mondays. Sundays were reserved for church, and by Monday, the kitchen cloths had accumulated a week's worth of grease and milk residue, developing a smell that spelled trouble. A woman would possess 6 to 10 dish rags, crafted from old flour sacks or worn linens, expected. The boiling process was straightforward yet precise. She filled a large copper pot with well water, shaving soap into it, sometimes her own homemade lye soap, at other times, a store-bought cake of Fell's naphtha. A sprinkle of washing soda followed, and then the rags, pushed down with a long stick or iron tongs. The pot simmered on a cast iron stove, enveloping the kitchen in a cloud of steam infused with the sharp scent. Once boiled, the rags were fished out, hand-wrung, and hung on a clothesline to dry, basking in the sun's warmth. This practice stretched beyond American shores. British households had been boiling kitchen cloths since the 1700s, while German homemakers adhered to similar routines. In Scandinavia, families boiled linen dish towels in birch ash, and in Japan, the tradition of boiling oshibori towel. Yet here lies an intriguing paradox. None of these women could articulate why their method worked. They simply observed that families who boiled their cloths fell ill less often than those who did not. This knowledge was passed down through generations, while the medical establishment remained embroiled in debate over the existence of germs. In the early 1800s, the notion that invisible organisms could incite disease was scoffed at. Doctors conducted surgeries in street clothes, transitioning from autopsies to childbirth without washing their hands. Hospitals in major cities were notorious for being places of death, shrouded in mist. The first to connect the dots, Ignaz Semmelweis, a Hungarian physician in 1847, worked in Vienna General Hospital's maternity ward. He noted a stark contrast between two clinics. One run by doctors who performed autopsies, with a childbed fever death rate exceeding 10%, and another by midwives, where the rate was under 2. After careful analysis, Semmelweis mandated that doctors wash their hands in a chlorinated lime solution before attending to patients. Almost immediately, the death rate in his clinic plummeted to under 1%. Yet rather than acclaim, he faced ridicule. The medical establishment mocked him, dismissing the idea that a gentleman's hands could harbor death. Stripped of his position, Semmelweis was committed to an asylum, where he met an untimely demise at the hands of guards in 1865. Some say he succumbed to the very infections he had sought to eradicate. It would take another 2 decades for the world to awake. In the 1860s, Louis Pasteur introduced his germ theory of disease, followed by Robert Koch in the 1870s and 80s, who isolated bacteria responsible for anthrax, tuberculosis, and cholera. By the 1890s, germ theory was established science. Yet, overlooked was the fact that millions of grandmothers had been combating those same organisms for decades. While Pasteur sterilized flasks and Koch stained bacteria, countless women had already mastered the art of elimination through boiling. The same scientific establishment that marginalized Semmelweis would later build a lucrative consumer products empire on the very principles these women had relied on. Now let's explore the science behind the boiling process itself. When a cotton dish rag enters boiling water at 212 degrees F, thermal disinfection kicks in immediately. Coli succumbs within 30 seconds, and Salmonella vanishes in under a minute. Staphylococcus aureus, the bacteria responsible for staph infections, perishes in just a few minutes. Clostridium, Listeria, and Campylobacter, all neutralized by the most basic yet effective substance known to humanity, hot water. In stark contrast, researchers from the University of Fuyth in 2017 uncovered distressing truths about kitchen sponges, revealing up to 54 billion bacterial cells per cubic centimeter, equating to the same density found in human stool samples. Microwaving sponges killed surface bacteria, but left resilient species alive. Dishwashing improved conditions, but not sufficiently. The researchers concluded that kitchen sponges rank among the most bacteria-laden environments in households, recommending frequent replacements over ineffective cleaning methods. Grandma's method did not merely reduce bacteria, it obliterated them. Lye, sodium hydroxide, broke down grease and organic matter, stripping away bacteria's food and shelter. When combined with boiling, it initiated a two-stage sanitation process. Lye stripping the defenses, while heat annihilated what. Yet boiling did more than sanitize. It treated the textiles themselves. Boiling cotton and linen in an alkaline solution bleached fibers, eliminated mineral deposits from hard water, and softened cloth without weakening it. This is why Grandma's rags endured for years, instead of mere months. Modern textile scientists affirm this. Sustained boiling rejuvenates cotton fibers, loosening compacted weaves and releasing trapped residues that cause odor and stiffness. Cold washing, even with advanced detergents, cleans only the surface, failing to penetrate the fabric. In pure observation, grandmothers had mastered this craft through generations. Scientists later validated their methods, but for a fleeting moment in American history, these two realms converged. Ellen Swallow Richards, a chemist, recognized this early on. In 1870, she made history as the first woman admitted to the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, focusing on chemistry and sanitary engineering. Contrary to her male counterparts, she turned her gaze toward the American household. Richards believed kitchens and laundry rooms were pivotal to public health. Between 1899 and 1908, she orchestrated conferences at Lake Placid, New York, birthing a new academic discipline. By 1909, the American Home Economics Association emerged, formalizing the field. Domestic science textbooks between 1900 and 1930 explicitly advocated boiling kitchen cloths as standard These were not mere folk remedies. They were scientifically validated instructions authored by MIT-trained chemists, scrutinized by bacteriologists, and published by university presses. The USDA engaged as well, sending home demonstration agents into rural communities, teaching women standardized cleaning methods and proper lye soap creation. For nearly 3 decades, the practice of boiling dish rags transitioned from grandmother's tradition to government-endorsed, scientifically validated public health practice. Domestic science branded it, gave it a method, and garnered institutional support, but a subtle shift was already brewing in American kitchens. In the shadows of progress, a battle rages between tradition and consumerism. As domestic scientists unveil sanitation guidelines, a different force transforms the American kitchen. The years between the 1920s and 1950s herald a revolution in consumer products. Companies like Procter & Gamble and Lever Brothers, once makers of humble soap, now embrace a new era, the age of national. Radio spots echo through the 20s, magazine ads fill the pages of the 30s, and by the 50s, television commercials dominate. Each ad delivers a singular message. Homemade is antiquated, store-bought is the essence of modernity. The lye soap, cherished by generations, is cast aside as a relic of ignorance. Bright packaging and cheerful names lure consumers into a world of effortless cleanliness, promising convenience. As the rags of old fade into obscurity, new inventions emerge. The cellulose sponge arrives in kitchens during the 30s, and paper towels become indispensable by the 50s and 60s. The new pitch is enticingly simple. No boiling, just use and toss. Yet this evolution transcends mere convenience. It encapsulates a deeper society. In post-war suburban America, kitchens transform into showrooms. Chrome appliances gleam under pastel hues, creating a picture of affluence. A woman boiling rags over a pot becomes an unwanted symbol of poverty. She embodies a bygone era, one that no suburban housewife in 1955 wishes to reflect. Boiling rags signifies a struggle to keep pace with modernity, while neighbors revel in the comforts of. The tradition doesn't fade because it fails, but rather because it becomes a source of shame. The products that replace it, however, reveal their own flaws. Triclosan, an antibacterial agent in dish soaps for decades, faces a ban in 2016 due to fears of antibiotic resistance. Quaternary ammonium compounds, still lurking in kitchen cleaners, linked to skin irritation. A culture that once embraced proven sanitation methods now opts for costly chemical solutions that fail to deliver as promised. The marketing machine convinces America to disregard the age-old practice of boiling rags, a solution already perfected with just a copper pot and a bar of soap. Yet hope is on the horizon. A new generation begins to reclaim this lost art. To join the revival, one must first learn the craft of boiling rags in a modern kitchen. Choose cotton or linen. Steer clear of synthetic blends that release microplastics. Undyed cotton reigns supreme. Gather the rags, fill a stainless steel pot with water, and add if stains linger, a splash of white vinegar can help. But remember, never mix vinegar and baking soda at the same time. Bring the water to a rolling boil, letting the rags simmer for 10 to 15 minutes. For heavily used cloths, 20 is better. Stir gently with a wooden spoon or tongs, then remove the rags carefully. Once cool, wring them out and hang them in sunlight, harnessing nature's antibacterial power. For light kitchen use, a weekly boil suffices. In homes where raw meat and dairy are staples, a more frequent routine of every 2 to 3 days ensures cleanliness. The process is simple and economical, requiring only the heat of the stove and yielding rags that outperform standard washing machine cycles. As the 21st century dawns, a renaissance emerges. The zero waste and sustainability movements ignite a quiet revolution. Bloggers and homesteaders share tales of reusable cotton rags and the environmental toll of disposable products. The staggering statistic emerges: Americans discard 13 billion pounds of paper towels yearly. One cotton dish rag can replace 17. This revival isn't merely a trend, it's backed by science. The National Health Service in the UK stands firm in recommending boiling dishcloths for sanitation. Studies reveal that thermal disinfection rivals chemical methods, with the added benefit of leaving no harmful residues behind. The method, once deemed backward, proves cleaner, cheaper, and safer than its modern counterpart. For generations, women passed down wisdom: boil the rags, hang them in the sun, and use lye in winter. They lacked peer-reviewed journals, yet they achieved results. When science finally catches up, it validates the age-old practices. And just as quickly, marketers urge society to forget them. Yet from this story rises not the copper pot or the lye soap, but a deeper principle. Boiling water and simple soap can conquer the unseen threats of germs. The most effective tools often linger in the shadows, waiting to be rediscovered. Knowledge, dismissed as primitive for decades, proves its worth once. This is the essence of true knowledge. It does not vanish. Instead, it patiently awaits the moment someone dares to remember.